let's start. Today we are going to work about idol worship. Okay, so the question for today is, what do you worship? Mm,
Um, Let me see. Well, I'm not very religious, maybe.
uh-huh.
Um, but I suppose I like my cell phone a lot. Like play with that. I don't know if it's that like worship.
Mm,
Hmm.
could be. Maybe we are going to talk about a little ahead. But you know, what I concretely mean is that from the ancient past, people has had the necessity of asking to any almighty power, to any person who controls the lives of all men and the destiny, the fate for everyone. And it's a necessity because sometimes whenever we have a loss, we are looking for the guilty one. We are looking for the reason why did this happen. And whenever we have any belief, it may help for us to be comfortable with the idea that it happened because somebody had the decision and because it was the future, it was destiny, it was fate. I don't know,
Hmm.
something like that. I think that it is kind of like the use, the purpose of having a religion.
Could be, yes.
It could be, but you know what? In all the ancient cultures, we have observed that there have been gods, goddess, and some figures, some sacred figures. Abisai, welcome. How are you?
Hi, teacher. I'm fine, thanks.
Excellent. That's pretty good. It's very good to listen to you.
Thank you.
All right. You know what? We are talking today about idol worshiping. We are talking about some beliefs in different cultures. So, Sandy, could you tell me if you know anything about any other cultures, any idolatry or any figures, some sacred figures?
Well, here in Swedish, they had a lot of religions, a lot. I think it's the place that I saw the most diverse religion culture. And there are one that it's called Wiccans. I like Wiccanos. I don't know what's it's the correct name in English.
Weekends.
Wiccans, and they used to uh, worship the nature. For example, now in spring they celebrate Ostara, like is a goddess to the spring, to the life, the new life, etc.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. It's supernatural thing, uh, like I don't know how do you say this in English. Cuando crecen los frutos, when the fruits grow in the trees or in the
When the flowers.
ground. Exactly. But there is Ostara for spring, and there is a other for the summer, and there are four gods, two goddess and two gods
And they are
for each station.
for the
Mhm.
4 seasons.
Exactly. And
Wow.
it's the life cycle, more or less.
Hey, that's beautiful. And for example, whenever they are celebrating Ostara, what do they do? How do they celebrate?
They eat a lot of the celebration. It's with food. I love that.
That's great. And what kind of food do they eat?
um, Season food, in spring, it's like with cookies, with a very high caloric food, because they thought that you need to recover some calories that you lose in the winter.
Uh-huh. Hey, that's great. So
Exactly.
they eat delicious cookies.
Yeah, cookies and some desserts, stews, estofados, is it stews?
Uh-huh, some stews.
Stews with a lot of fat, very good. It's like super high calorie, but it's very good.
Wow. Hey, that's so interesting. Thank you very much. Okay, so Avisai, please, could you talk to us about any different celebrations or idolatry that you have observed in any other country? Avisai, don't go. Don't be shy. Don't sleep. Hello. Or Vera, welcome, Vera. How are you?
Hi, I'm great.
That's very good. I'm very happy to listen to you. All right, Vera, you know what? We are talking about idolatry and worship. So, do you know about any idolatry or any worship in any other part of the world?
Let me think. Give me less than 1 minute.
All right. Well, in the meantime, I would like to talk to you about Mexican worshiping, about some personalities, some guardians of the 4 points who were, for example, Quetzalcoatl. There was also the guardian for the water, who was Tlaloc. And oh my, do you remember anybody else, Sandy?
Teacher, you are talking about very, very old gods. Nowadays, um, they idolatra. Is that
The
correct?
worship.
Idolatra? They worship even stones, teacher.
That's
Anything, anything that appear in a tree, in a rock. eh, it depends of your imagination.
mhm,
But we have in Mexico a lot of gods also. And santos, saints,
saints.
saints, yes. And I remember once when I was in Tepoztlan, I think,
Uh-huh.
Cuernavaca. They have um, Santiago Saint, creo. I think Santiago.
Uh-huh.
Or and they celebrate. It's like a child, a God child, como niño
Uh-huh.
Dios.
Kind of like
And,
a
and sorry,
holy child.
and they make like comparsa,
Uh-huh.
and all people is following this child. It's like a maniquí. It's like a toy, like a little baby dressed with a long dress, and people is playing different instruments, dancing, and híjola, prendiendo fireworks.
They lit fireworks.
Uh-huh. And and also a lot of teenagers drinking beers and celebrating, but is I think the real meaning of this tradition is losing the real meaning, because what young people want is just get fun. So it's like holidays.
Aha, yes, that's it. You know what? You made me remember something. Time ago here in
Okay.
Mexico, we used to celebrate Christmas in a very different way. We were with our family, we did the procession
Uh-huh.
because we were having a trip with the pilgrims, and then we
Uh-huh.
broke the piñata and we sang some songs.
Ah, yes, you're right, teacher. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we used to eat some different dishes, for example, romeritos and bacalao and some other Christmas salad, something so delicious,
And fruit punch.
and fruit punch. Yeah, that's it. And time ago, it began to change. So nowadays, posadas are not what it used to be. Nowadays, people just drink, eat, and that's all.
And celebrate the posadas in a restaurant. People does doesn't or don't want
Don't.
doesn't
People don't want.
people don't want to get dirty their kitchens.
Yeah, all the preparation that the celebration had originally.
Ah, you may make me remind something else. In Naulinco is in Veracruz, is a small town in Veracruz. Naulinco celebrate the Day of Death, and they begin this high procession, like a people
Procession, like a
procession,
parade.
from the híjole, Panteón.
The
How do
cemetery.
you say? Yeah, from the cemetery, they they start playing the guitar and singing different uh, songs, like like calavera songs, and make the same that you describe, that you already described, like it was Christmas, but they celebrate in the Day of Death. They go and visit different houses, and they drink ponche, punch of
Punch.
different fruits, and
Wow.
and but with kind of alcohol. And after they visit all these houses that are prepared for receiving visits, then we finish at the church. Imagine the church, mm, um, full of people drunk and
Wow.
singing.
Is Neolinco next to Jalapa?
I probably, teacher. The only thing that I remember is that they um, made the shoes with the brand Andreas brand.
Uh-huh. That's it. I am almost sure that Naulinco is near to Jalapa in Veracruz.
I think so. Yeah, yeah. Yes, you are right. Because I just went twice, and it's a very, very um, como hospitalario.
Aha, so homemade.
Yes, teacher. I remember this little town with a lot of mm, cariño o entusiasmo.
Yes, they are so warm.
Uh-huh. And they have a lot of um, mm, fabrics of shoes t-shirt.
Aha,
This
shoes
is
factories.
yes, shoes factories, and they eat a lot of bread. The bread that they prepare for the Day of Dead. I remember the family where I was hosted,
Aha, yes.
eh, and they buy like 10 dozen of this bread because it's like a tradition all the week eat this kind of bread.
Wow. Hey, that.
Every day they wanted to eat a bread,
So, aha, piece of bread.
a
Wow,
piece of bread.
nice. And even it's delicious. You know what? Time ago, I went to Indiana. I was studying in the University of Southern Indiana. And I remember that I was there in Halloween and I could observe how they manage that celebration and how people behave, how people dress. But guess what? I was really, really sad. I was really not even melancholy, but misery. I felt miserable because I wanted to eat my dead bread. I was waiting
Ah,
a whole year to eat the dead bread because you know that here in Mexico it is only prepared in that season. And I was
mhm.
there. So I was waiting for another whole year to buy the bread dead. The dead bread.
Well, then we need to export this bread.
Yeah, we should do it because it's delicious. Sandy, what do you think about it? You told,
Well,
yes.
no, tell me.
Yeah, you told me that you are there in Sweden for 12 years,
No, no, 2 years only.
2 years. And what is the thing that you, or the tradition that you miss most?
That day, I really like it. But here we have uh, I don't know how do you say, a long Mexican community. No, it's not long. It's like grande, great. No,
A big,
a big community of Mexican people. Then they do that bread. I in Mexico I didn't appreciate the bread. I didn't like it even. But here,
wow.
when I try it in that specific date, I feel like I ate a piece of my infancy. It was
Oh,
very good.
beautiful. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, that's piece of home.
yes, it was great. And like I said, here we had a Mexican community. Then that day, they make up. If you want, you can pay. It's not a, a big amount of money. It's like 15 pesos with the change. And
Wow.
they can make yourself like a trina or, and it's great. I like to do that. In Mexico, I didn't do it, but here it's like, wow, I want to do that.
Yeah, that's it. You know what? I remember that the last year my granddaughters told me, Granny, we are going to paint your face. You are going to be a beautiful Katrina. But I said,
Hmm.
no, 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 baby, I won't do it. You know what? With my overweight, I'm going to seem like a panda bear. So, no, don't do that, please. But yes, that's beautiful. I like also to make up my children, my granddaughters.
Yeah,
So
it's
beautiful.
great. It's a good tradition to share with the family.
Yeah, that's it.
And you remember the lost people who did or who lost it, and it's great too.
Yeah, that's it. You know what? I think that here in Mexico we had or even forgotten the sense of that celebration. But with this movie picture of Coco, I think that we could remember, even Mexican people could remember and appreciate again the sense of that celebration and the importance in our culture.
Yes. I really loved Coco. It was very good. I cry a lot.
Yeah, so did I, because guess what? I remembered that, well, my father was a musician.
Mm.
He used to play the guitar.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and so when I saw that movie picture, I realized that he was one of like those. And
Mm.
so in the next celebration, I didn't forget, of course, to put my offer and to play my father videos. Well, that was more significant than before.
Yes. Yes, I can understand that. Yeah, the picture changed my point of view, you know. I really love Day of Death all the time in my life. But when I saw the picture, it was very touchy,
Yeah, so touching.
very good. Hmm. Good celebration.
Yeah, so nice. All right. You know what? We were supposed to be talking about worshiping, idol worshiping. Let's go back to the topic. Well, it is
Mm.
not so mandatory, but anyway, let's continue. You know what? Talking about idol worshiping, well, we have already talked about some of the ancient past. For example, in Mexico, Quetzalcoatl, and in Egypt, cats, or some of their gods like Isis, Osiris, and all of them. But guess what? Let's talk about the new ways of worshiping. Nowadays, people continue to have some practices, and even now, they used to worship any animals, some animals. For example, here we have the rat temple in India, where people feed the rats with food, and they can't, well, the temple is full of rats, so you have to be very careful when you walk because you can damage rats. And so people can fall down, people can be hurt, and nobody says anything. But if you step on a rat or if you hurt a rat, that's a sin. That's terrible. That's the worst thing you can do. So, have you heard about it before? What about you, Sandy?
Oh, I never heard about the Rats Temple.
No,
But
that's it.
I can understand because the people worship um, things that they can, well, they admire. For example, rats are very adaptable to the environment. Then I think it's okay. Well, it's not my favorite animal, but it's okay.
Yes, that's it. That's interesting. All right. Thank you. Vera, what do you think about this?
What do I think about what, teacher?
About idol animals worshipping.
No, teacher. I don't like that. I don't like that.
Yeah, that's it. And well, for me, it was also a little shocking when I saw the picture, and I thought that how is it possible? But it's the culture of any other people. So, well, in some other places, for example, in the Himalaya, people worship in some places. They worship monkeys. In India, people worship cows. They are sacred animals, and they are considered holy and auspicious. So they are very respectable. Uh, yes.
Probably, teacher. Sorry that I am interrupt you. Is probably like in Puebla we have 365 churches. in different colonias or towns,
Sections.
sections. Probably we could compare these idols with so many churches. I think is insane.
Mhm.
The other day I was listening Sadhguru, and he was making laugh of these different types of gods. He was making jokes about if we think that God is is a woman or a man, and he was making like a reflection that it doesn't matter what sex is God. If you um, are not agree, you can think that also the monkeys are gods. And he say also the uh, orthography could be a god, and whatever you decide you want to choose like your god, like a chair, even a chair, you can decide, oh, I trust in this chair, so this chair is gonna be my god. So I think it's not necessary to decide uh, what god we want to follow. If we observe our, ourselves, we are god, because we are creation of this universe, this energy. So probably we could be more in peace if we don't think to divide ourselves in different beliefs or trust in different gods. That's my opinion. So if you want to choose this rat or elephant for your God, I just need to respect your decision.
Yeah, that's it. You know what? Time ago, I went to a session about an ideology called Diksha. And it is a Hindu discipline. And they said
Uh-huh.
the same. They were telling us that our divinity, however we may call God, could be Mickey Mouse, could be our father or
Yes,
mother.
it's the same that is it's the same religion or the same um, uh, program of Sadhguru Isha. Yes,
Aha, Diksha.
Itza. Uh-huh.
Diksha,
Isha.
it's by the Oneness University in India.
Okay.
You know what? I really liked it. I agree very much with some of their ideas because they were talking to us about how we can manage pain, the physical pain, the emotional, and the psychological pain, and to that everything is in our mind. So I think that it was very interesting. I would really
So you went to India, the country?
no, I was invited to go to Morelos.
Uh-huh.
There, the place where I went was Hacienda de la Luz, and there they gave us something like a mini course, an introductory course by some teachers who came from India.
Okay.
And yes, they explained us all of that, and I really liked it. I really enjoyed it very
And
much.
did you follow these beliefs, or did you learn more about it?
Yes, I did. What I learned, what I mostly learned, is that, well, something that we had to consider very much is that when our body is in optimal conditions, we are healthy, we don't have any pain, any physical pain, we are not hungry, we are not sleepy, then we can focus on the spiritual things, and we can be focused also on the things that we need to share with anybody else. So whenever we are worried, whenever we are sad, tired, then our efforts and all of our attention is focused on the physical pain. So we are not going to transcend ever, because it is oh my, I forgot the word. Yes, it is avoiding that we grow up.
Say it in Spanish, teacher, don't worry.
The problem is that I forgot it into Spanish. You know what?
Okay.
I have a problem. I am learning how to speak French. And since the moment I started working with French, I began forgetting Spanish. And so for me, it is very difficult because I am losing fluency in English, in Spanish, and oh my, I have to do something about it.
I think it's a process, teacher, don't worry.
Yeah.
It will work.
Yeah, right. Well, thank you very much. Okay, Sandy, have you ever heard about any of these disciplines or any belief like this?
Yes, well, I start to reading about Wiccans because I like that thing that appreciate the nature, for example, and love ourselves, be held. Like you said, I think it's very similar that the religion that you talk about, and it's about be held, be aware in our mind, and appreciate environment. It's very good, but really I think that the religion it's like an optional thing in your life. I respect all the religion. I don't care about this, or I don't have problems with any religion, but I think that the respect is the base of the religion. Well, it must be.
Yeah, that's it. I understand. It is so sensible.
And that's it. If you believe in cows, rats, or God, or Buddha, or whatever, it's okay until the moment that you didn't respect other cultures or other religions.
Aha, that's it. All right, thank you very much. That was so wise. Okay, Vera, so talk to us about it. You were talking about that, about the Diksha. What did you learn, or what's your opinion?
About what, teacher?
About any other
Religion?
thoughts? Yeah, or about the Diksha, what you mentioned.
I was wanted to go to a convention in Los Angeles, but it cost like $500, and Sadhguru was going to introduce you to this inner, like inner energy or inner
Light?
yes, but I was curious, but at the same time I was a little afraid or about what was going to happen there. Is like this kind of eye, that third eye that that we hear, that we have in just in our frente. I forgot how to say
In the
frente.
forehead? No, yeah, the forehead.
In the forehead. Probably I think it was it will happen something weird, but I feeling like at attached, como like a como like como un imán. I don't know how to
Attached, like attracted.
attracted. Yes, I have been busy, but I receive a lot of emails and webinars, and probably I could share it with you if you wish, because I think this world is waking up, and in different changing the thing, their thinkings and their beliefs. I think we have a different process than our years, nuestros días atrás, nuestros años atrás.
That years before.
Ajá. Our Catholic religion is not enough now for us. We are living in a information century, and we're receiving a lot of information from different countries, and I think it's kind of a salad. It's mixing all the knowledge, all the trust, and we have the access to research and follow the energy or the beliefs that que se asimilen más contigo. I don't know.
Yeah, that you may like best.
That you may like best. Yes. Even do you remember this guy, that Mexican research that talks about ovnis
The
with big eyes? That I don't remember his name, but when I was child, he scares me with his program 60 segundos or 60 minutos.
Yeah.
Do you remember this program?
Juan Ruiz Gili.
And now teenagers are following this kind of weird beliefs of ovnis, and probably we are being visited for them
by
them and waking up as thoughts.
That's it. Well, I think that everything could happen in these times because, as you said, we are open to many different information sources. All right. You know what? I would really like to talk about that the Diksha, because it is so nice. So I think that it would be very good to share information about it.
Send me your email, and I can share this material with you.
Yeah, thank you very much. I am going to, if you send me a message to my institutional email, teacher2 at ILSE, at English ILSE, I am going to share you my personal email so that we can share that information.
Could you repeat it again?
Yeah, it's teacher2.
Teacher2
at english.ilse.edu.mx.
Are you the one who are in the group of the WhatsApp? Are
Yes.
you in the WhatsApp group?
Yes, I am.
Okay, I'm gonna send you my email.
All right, thank you. Well,
My personal email.
yeah, in fact, I guess, well, as am I your tutor, I've got it. So I'm going to send you it
Yes,
from,
you're right.
yeah, I'm going to send it to you from my personal email so that we can share information about it. All right?
Yeah, I have a lot of information.
All right, thank you very
You're
much.
welcome.
All right, so let's go to
Teacher, I
the,
gonna leave the group because I'm trying to make to make dinner.
all right,
I,
it's okay.
I'm making paella, teacher. Paella.
Wow,
Yes, it's my
hey,
first time making paella.
that's
So
delicious.
next class I gonna share if it works or not. If it was good or not.
It's gonna be very good. I'm sure of that. Good luck.
Okay.
Good luck, Vera.
Bye. Good night, everyone.
Good night. All right. So, Sandy, let's talk about the next image.
Okay.
You said that people has the necessity to ask to anybody else, to an almighty, to think about superior power that leads the lives of every individual in life. But in that search of protection and guidance, we have been in different worshiping, so different modern idolatry. So look at these images. Well, that's what I thought. That's what I consider that was, well, maybe necessary, maybe illustrating to talk
Yeah.
about. What do you think about it? For example, we worship our own images, so that's why many people are posting all of the time their photographs in Facebook or in Instagram, in some social media, and
I think that that kind of post, for example, that it's like a narcissist.
Mhm.
It's okay for me. It's not a problem, but I think that big selfies all the time and post it and look for the likes or for the I don't know what they want to get posted some pictures about themselves. I
Ye-
don't get it.
yes, and you know what? What attracts my attention most is that people nowadays post every single event that happened in their lives on Facebook, for example, and they take pictures and say, here I am in the restaurant. Here I am with my girlfriend or with my boyfriend. Here I am with my father and my mother at a restaurant or on vacation. And so I was reading an article that talked about that feeling of loneliness that people have because when now young adults were children, they grew up in the generation of computers. So if nowadays children are so agile, they are so skilled managing or using some devices, well, it was because their parents were also the beginning of this. Our children were educated by the television. And so
Mm,
those,
yes, but it's like terrifying to thought that you need to give improvement. I don't know, like aprobación,
approval.
approval for your life all the time in the social media. It's like what? Why?
Well, that's the point. Why? Because some people is supposed to have a feeling, a loneliness feeling that makes that they ask for the approval of all the people and show every single thing, every single step they make. And some people used to be angry whenever they post something and you don't click a like for them. And so that's part of this behavior because they are demanding for attention.
Yeah, I think it's very sad because, well, I respect this. I don't like social media. I had Facebook, for example, but I post, in my case, well, I post it because nowadays I don't use it. Like special occasions like travels or something like that, you know. But it's not for get the like. I like to share with my family, and it's easy share in that way
Yes.
because the people get Facebook and that's it. It's easier that call and take your tell about the travel or whatever.
And
But
you
I don't know.
and you don't know, for me it is very useful also when I want to store my pictures because I used to store them all in a USB.
Mm.
But guess what? One of those days I lost my USB and all my photographs were lost. So nowadays I post everything on Facebook, and so I am sure that they are in the cloud in a drive. So whenever I want to recover them, they are there.
Yes, of course. But I yes, that's a good reason to get there. But I think that search the likes or the improvement for other people, or do a trending topic for whatever reason, it's not like healthy, you know.
That's it. And that was I was thinking about when I read that article. I said, yes, it's something like, hey, turn around, here I am.
Yeah, it's sad because I don't know. I thought that these people who take a lot of selfies and use Instagram or whatever social media, they feel alone, you know?
It may be, but anyway, everything is respectable, and even
Yes, of course.
apologies are respectable also.
Of course, it is.
Yes, but well, of course, we are free to use to do whatever we consider it's good or necessary.
Yeah, well, Instagram or Facebook, if you use for your own and don't do harm for other people, it's okay.
Yes, that's it. All right. So, what do you think, for example, about that material things worshiping? There are some people who feel that if they don't have any brand new clothes or any very expensive and luxury car, well, any material possession, if they don't show what they have, then they are not going to show their own value. So I don't know. I think that the value of a person is not related to their possessions.
No, of course not. It's in their soul. Well, I know it's soul, but behave, you know.
That's it.
But a lot of people believe that have a lot of material possession is like, wow, if I had a lot, I'm great.
That's it. Or I will feel better. I don't know.
Exactly. I don't believe that. I think you need to do a good person, you know, in your own limits. You need to do a good person and help other people, you know, develop yourself.
Yeah, not to hurt the others.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's it. All right. Well, you know what? I think that we could be talking for a long time about this topic because it is very interesting. But unfortunately, time is over. But
Oh no. Hmm.
Oh my. But well, I thank you so much for your attention and for that big effort you do every single class. So I hope you have a very good day.
Yes, thank you. I have a question, teacher. I review the calendar, and I thought that we have a partial exam in a few weeks.
Next week.
Next week, right? It's in the platform, right?
Yeah, that's it. You are going to find it as um, review units 1 to 5, and it is
Mhm.
going to be in the assignments section, the
Perfect.
to-do list.
Perfect. Okay. I need to do my units because I'm a little, how do you say, atrasado,
Behind,
late,
a little behind.
behind. But I do this week. Perfect. Thank you very much for your time and for your interesting class.
Thank you very much. Have a very good day.
You too. Well, you have a very good night.
Thank you very much.
See you.
See you. Meet you next class.
Yes. Bye bye.
Bye.